had a fire blowing out of this front window, out of the front door. We could see inside it was fully involved.
Firefighter Byers and I kicked the front door. When we kicked the front door, it drew the fire straight towards us. We pretty much knew it was a bedroom on the right-hand side.
8164, medic 163, and the rehab response to a alarm fire. 17 over Spurrier Road. It's going to be right next to 1194. Time out's going to be 22.
One end fully involved, heavy fire coming out the windows.
We went in with our headline, knocked the fire down. We had a lot of fire on the inside ceiling level toward the back of the house.
Okay, here you can see this is a public storage facility that's off of Texas Street here in Lewisville. And some of the things that we encounter on these types of fires is, number one, is access into the facility. A lot of these places after hours, gates are locked, and we've got to stop and actually cut our way through the gates. Once inside the gate, then we have to deal with the fact that some of these facilities, the passageways between the buildings are very narrow, and maneuvering our big trucks into position in these facilities sometimes can get kind of difficult. Not only being able to set up where we need to, but also not being too close to the fire so that we don't damage our trucks. Then once we get that accomplished, another thing that we have to deal with is water supply sometimes is limited in these areas.
They're working on it. They're working on it right now. Tell him that, Ricky. Tell him we're short on water. We're trying to get another link in there, but we still have fire. Get that up there. We got it down at fire. Our hose is dead.
As you all know, a lot of these facilities, the doors are made of metal. They're roll-up metal doors, and everybody has a lock on them. So we've either got to cut the lock to get the door open, or we have to take a saw and actually cut the door itself and make a big opening in it. Then once inside, some of the hazards that we have to deal with here is who knows what's going to be stored inside. You could have anything from automobiles with full gas tanks stored in these facilities, hazardous chemicals, aerosol cans that could actually ignite and go off like rockets and bombs. We can deal with paints and paint thinners that people store in here, as well as just furnishings such as furniture and clothing that actually puts off a pretty good fire. And then something we actually encountered at this facility itself was a propane bottle that was full of propane. One of our guys, while making a cut through a door on this facility, actually cut into the propane bottle and it released its propane.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a pair of gauzes melted like that. Good job, Percy.
I didn't even know. I just went over the thing. I said, I'm hot.
Aren't we glad?
Spray me.
Aren't we glad that sucker was empty?
Yeah, well, I think it was venting. That's what I told Penny, because when we walked up, you could see the bluish color flame.
Fortunately for us, this fireman had all of his protective clothing on as he was supposed to have, and was wearing a self-contained breathing apparatus, and so was unharmed. Some of his equipment sustained some severe heat damage.
I don't think I've ever seen a pair of gauzes melted like that.
But he was okay. So this was a good lesson to our firemen when working a fire of this type, to always have all their protective clothing on, because they never know what they're going to encounter in a fire like this. This fire went to 2 alarms. We were actually able to make a pretty good stop on it. The guys were able to cut doors down from all the rental spaces that actually were on fire, make a good block, and then come back through and mop it up and knock the fire down. This fire was actually started by an aerosol can. Some people were digging through some of their belongings and knocked an aerosol can down and broke the top on it. And not knowing what was going on because it was dark and they couldn't see, one of the renters actually lit a cigarette lighter for some light to see what was making that noise, and it actually lit the aerosol can off. Fortunately, neither one of them were injured severely. One just had some minor burns. Was transported to the hospital and was treated and released. We were able to mop this incident up fairly easily. And then our investigation was pretty simple because, again, these people were able to tell us exactly what happened. So this was a good fire. It was a good fire for our guys to work, and we had some new guys on some hand lines for the first time, and we were able to make a good stop on it. This is a two-story residential structure fire. It came in about 5 in the morning. The father of this family had just left for work, and about 15 minutes afterwards, Mom was awakened by the smoke detector. The good thing about this house fire right here is everything that we try to teach and stress during Fire Prevention Week, or in the schools while we're teaching the kids during Fire Prevention Week, this family actually did. This was a great testament for working smoke detectors, because it was the smoke detector that actually woke the mom up and alerted her to the fact that their home was on fire.
The one thing that we pointed out to a lot of different people here is the fact that the mom did an absolutely phenomenal job taking care of her family. All the different things we talk about during Fire Prevention Week, during Fire Prevention Month, throughout the year, she did. She took care of her family, made sure she got everybody up and out, and accounted for. Injured herself in the process, but did an absolutely awesome job for her family.
When we pulled out, had fire blowing through the front window right here, had fire showing through the rear. Upstairs had a lot of smoke pushing.
We also made entry up to the second floor. Not a lot of fire up there, just a little smoky, a lot of steam. The vent crew had already had at least 1 or 2 holes opened up on the roof.
They were able to make a quick knockdown, and the outcome of this was really good. Even though the family, again, lost just about all their belongings in the home before we were able to actually knock the fire down, they were all out of the home, made it out safely.
Once they got the hole cut and everything lifted inside, looked good, we advanced right on in on it, fixed problems up.
There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes. There goes my hero. He's ordinary.
Well, we had a report of a house fire, residential house fire, and we were the first crew in, first engine in. We pulled up, had a lot of smoke showing from the front of the residence. Didn't see any flame at the time, but we had a lot of smoke.
When we got on the scene, we encountered a lot of heavy smoke, and it was hard to tell right at first if this was actually an occupied home or not. So our first in crews actually took the line in and started their fire knockdown in search of the structure. And it was quickly determined that this was an empty, unoccupied home. But something that we have to be cautious of, and that's taken for granted that just because the home's empty, there's nobody in there. This happened to be a cool day, and something we have to think about is there could be somebody that forced their way actually into this home and was looking for a place to get out of the weather and get warm. So we still have to make our search of the whole structure and make sure there's nobody in there as we're knocking the fire down.
Helped us with the searching on the house. We went in with our hand line, knocked the fire down. We had a lot of fire on the inside ceiling level toward the back of the house, and we got the fire knocked down. The truck company came in and did search. Had a second hand line, and went real well, went real quick.
This roof actually had originally had cedar shakes on it, and then was covered with composition shingles. So we had a little bit of a problem there, overhauling the roof structure, making sure that all the cedar shakes were out underneath the comp. Then our investigators came in, investigated this fire. Of course, what we were able to determine real quickly is this house didn't have any electricity or gas hooked up to it, so it was quickly determined that this house was set. Unknown at this time if it was set by just misuse of smoking material or something like that. If somebody's actually trying to start a warming fire in there and left it unattended, or if actually they just deliberately set the house on fire. Our investigators are still working on that, and that is all yet to be determined.
Real quick fire. Didn't take just a few minutes to get it knocked down.
Well, they call me the fireman. That's my name. Making my rounds all over town, putting out old flames. Hell, everybody like to have what I got. I can cool them down when they're smoldering hot. I'm the fireman. That's my name.
Hi, I'm Scott Thompson, Division Chief with the Lewisville Fire Department. On this segment of 5 Alarms, I'd like to take a little bit of your time and tell you about the Training, Safety, and Health Division. I'm often asked by citizens what's required to become a firefighter. The Texas Commission on Fire Protection requires that a new firefighter complete a 468-hour basic recruit academy. In addition, many go on to be paramedics, which is an additional 1,200 hours. But the training continues throughout a firefighter's career. In Lewisville, we believe we have an obligation not only to our members but to the citizens to provide the best possible training so that quality service is delivered. One of the greatest challenges to training is scheduling. Firefighters work 3 shifts, 24 hours on and 48 hours off. In Lewisville, we try to train 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, leaving Sundays for makeup. But there's a lot of other activities that must also be considered. For example, firefighters start work at 7 o'clock in the morning. One of the first priorities is roll call. This is a time when the company officers inform their crews on street closures, hydrants that are out of service, and they plan the activities for the day, such as public education programs, training, what the meals are going to be. But they also must maintain their apparatus, their equipment, and their stations. So you see, there's not a lot of time to watch TV. And those are the scheduled events. But our priority is to respond to fire, rescue, and medical emergencies, which can consume a great part of the day. We also have mandates that we have to figure into our training schedule. The Texas Commission on Fire Protection, who is an agency that oversees career fire departments, requires that every firefighter have 20 hours of continuing education a year. We've chose to exceed that and have adopted the NFPA, National Fire Protection Association, and the ISO, Insurance Service Office standard, which requires 240 hours of training a year, quite a bit more than what's required on the state level. Delivery is generally in the classroom, hands-on training, and then company drills, which are conducted in the firehouse. And finally, we have specialty training. Hazardous materials response, confined space rescue, trench rescue, and high-angle rescue all require special knowledge and special skills using specialized equipment. One last thing I'd like to mention about training is we're very proud and fortunate to just have received a grant here in Lewisville. With this grant, we're fortunate to be able to purchase a flashover simulator. We will be one of 3 cities in North Texas who will be able to provide their firefighters with this critical training. Flashover is an occurrence that occurs on the fire ground, many times resulting in firefighter deaths. With this simulator, we will be able to put firefighters in a flashover condition so that they can see the signs of a flashover. The last thing I'd like to talk about is our health and safety program. This involves a lot of areas, from our protective clothing to the weight equipment at our fire stations for firefighter fitness. I'd like to take you outside now and show you some of those things. We've all seen firefighters in the movies and pictures. One of the most important components of firefighter safety is their personal protective equipment. I'd like to go over that equipment with you. The feet are protected with leather boots. The coat and the pants are made out of a fire-resistant material. This actually allows a firefighter to get into hot conditions, protects them from steam and other things that they can encounter in a structure fire. A helmet protects the head. A Nomex hood, similar to what race car drivers wear, protects the ears and neck. And then they bring their air with them, breathing air. We refer to it as an SCBA. The SCBA consists of the mask and the air bottle, which the firefighter carries on his or her back. But as you can see, we're adding a lot of weight to the body weight of a firefighter. One of the things that we have just added to our gear in Lewisville, and we believe we're one of the few departments in Texas to have this, is what we call the fallen man harness. In fire conditions, with this added weight, it's very difficult to get a firefighter to safety. The harness is built into the coat, and it's designed so that another firefighter can grasp the harness and use it to move the firefighter. We will now have one of our firefighters demonstrate the harness, which is built into the coat. What is done is the firefighter grabs the harness, pulls on it, which will deploy the harness out of the coat. Moving the firefighter along the ground until he or she is to safety. Hopefully we'll never have to use this, but if we need it, it's there.
Spring is here again, and as you know, this is storm season for our area. Each year, we hear of major storms that are causing substantial damage in and around the DFW area. And throughout the United States, tornadoes have occurred in every month of the year.
Hello, this is Mike Nolan with Lewisville Fire Department. I'm here this afternoon at Station 4. What we're going to do is we're going to talk to you a little bit about our outdoor warning siren system. Over my shoulder, you'll be able to see what one of the sirens looks like. We have 12 sirens in the city. 3 have voice capability along with the siren.
These sites are located at Lake Park, East Hill Park, and the amphitheater area, which is located just south of the Vista Ridge Mall. Please remember this is an outdoor warning system and is not designed to be heard indoors.
Those 3 sites have the sirens where they can be, where voice messages can be transmitted. What we have at each site is 8 messages, 4 in Spanish, 4 in English. The messages deal with, 1, the monthly test that we do the first Wednesday of each month. That will activate and tell the people there that within hearing distance of the siren that basically it's just a test of the system. The second message is for tornado warning. The third message is for a severe thunderstorm. And then the fourth message is the all clear.
When you hear this system sounding, you will need to seek shelter and tune into a weather source.
When we activate the sirens, you're going to hear one of 2 types of sounds. The first sound, which is a low to a high steady tone, is to indicate that there is a tornado possibly approaching the city. The second tone has to do with the severe thunderstorm, and it's the best way to characterize that sound is a whoop whoop sound. The whoop whoop sound basically means that there's a severe thunderstorm that has winds of 70 miles an hour or greater, or hail that's 1.5 inches or bigger headed to our city. So based on the weather forecast and the weather reports that we're hearing from the ham radio operators, if we activate the siren where you hear the whoop whoop sound, that means that there's a severe thunderstorm headed in our direction. And as with any outdoor warning siren system, the activation of those sirens mean for you, if you're outside, if you hear the sirens outside, it's for you to go inside and turn on your TV or turn on 1620, which is the city's AM radio station, to get information. So the sirens will not necessarily, you may hear them in your house, then again you may not. The purpose of the siren system is for people that are outdoors, to get them indoors in a place of shelter and then start seeking out the information as to what weather event is happening. The tornado sound that the siren will activate starts at a very low, steady pitch and then goes to a high pitch and will remain there. The sirens last about 3 minutes. Is how they're programmed. If we need further activations, then we will do so.
We have recently installed an advanced warning satellite system at the Fire Department Emergency Operations Center and in the Battalion Chief's dorm. With this system, we're able to monitor the severity of storm cells and track their path right here at Central Fire Station. It will update information every 5 minutes, offering us the latest possible warning for severe weather. Keep a supply of water, fresh batteries, flashlights, and a transistor radio on hand. Consider all the associated problems that could come as a result of a tornado. Some of these are hail, lightning, flooding, debris, down power lines, and traffic congestion. Seek shelter in storm cellars, interior or center rooms in your home, such as an interior bathroom, and cover yourself with mattress or quilts. The important thing is to plan in advance where your safest location is, and be sure that your whole family knows the plan.
Let's reemphasize what you should do if you hear the sirens activate. Number one, regardless of whether it's a tornado siren, which is the low to high steady pitch, or the whoop whoop sound, which means the severe thunderstorm is approaching, do not call 911 unless you have an emergency to report. Another thing we'll do when we activate the sirens is we will be on the cable override. And we have the ability, with a special phone number that we have and working with the local cable TV company, is to have about a 3-minute period where we override all the audio on your television. And at that time, we'll try to give you as much information as we can as to why the sirens are activating.
If you're caught in an open area, get as low and flat as you can. Culverts and drainage ditches offer a source of shelter as long as flooding is not a problem.
If you have any questions about the outdoor warning siren system, please call us at the fire department, 972-219-3580.
Come on, baby, light my fire.
Hi, this is Captain Allison from the Lewisville Fire Department, and we're here at Station 4, standing in front of a 1939 GMC pumper. This is a part of our history here. This is the first pumper that our volunteers bought many years ago, and they used it for several years, and then it went to another department, and we were very fortunate to have one of our firefighters, William Culpepper. He's a driver engineer at this station. He worked very hard and got this back for us. What we're going to do with this is we're going to refurbish it from top to bottom, new tires, work on the engine. It actually was running at one time here not too long ago, William said, and we're going to fix it back up and use it in parades and use it for various other things. If you get an opportunity, just come by the station and look at it. It'd be nice to look at it in this format and then see what it looks like when we're finished with it. There's a lot of people that probably owe this fire truck a home or a car or some other type of fire that they pulled up on many years ago, and guys got off of it and put the fire out with the hose that was on the back of it, possibly put some of this hose in a pond or something outside of town and took care of some fires off of this particular vehicle. Anyway, we're really proud to have it. It's going to be something that we're going to work very hard on. The guys here are going to try to do as much stuff as we can in-house. And if anybody out there would like to donate some time or donate some paint or donate anything that might help us out on it, we'd certainly appreciate it. If you'd like to make a financial donation or a donation for materials, you can call Chief Khan at 972-219-3739.
Hi, I'm driver engineer Brian Freed. Thanks for watching 5 Alarms. Until next time, be safe.